Now that we have all our input data, it's time to take our user to the next page. And as of this diagram, we will take our user from search page to a result page. That result page will show some schedules. So you can say that this is a schedule list page, but only those schedules are fetched from database that actually matches a specific route, the to city or from city. And then user will pick any of the schedules that he likes to travel on a specific time on a specific type of bus. By considering the ticket price, he will pick any of the schedules and then go to the seat plan page, and this seat plan will be generated will be based on the bus type. So different bus types have different seat plans, and we will go that, and we will make this all these things later, but let's stick to this matter right now. Before I create the new page, I want to move this method from this widget class to the helper function, because we need to show message every now and then to show user some message or notify user for some events. So if you don't want to write this whole stuff again and again, then we should put these lines of codes inside a method so that we can easily call that method and show the snack bar when we need. So in the helper functions Dart file, we create another function, and the name should be show message. We will pass the build context, and we will pass a message to show, and from this message method we will return a scaffold messenger. I'm just copying this code here. Actually, I'm cutting this code and pasting here, and we need to actually import the material.dart package, and the message will be whatever message we pass through the function parameters. And actually I don't want to type the message statically. In the constant.dart file, I need to specify one more constant, just like this. I'm duplicating this line, and this should be the empty field error message, or empty date time. You can say empty date error message, and this should be please select a departure date. Okay, now let's call that function from here. Show message, pass the context and pass the message, and message should be empty date error message. And if I press hot reload or hot restart maybe, and select the date, okay, not selecting the date, I'm pressing the search button and it says please select a departure date. So everything is working fine. Now it's time to do something, because we have some input data and we have to show our user some schedule list based on this input data. Then now we need to make some queries, but we don't have any database yet, but we have a temp.db file that is acting like a dummy database. So we need to query inside this dummy table, this list, because this list consists some bus schedule object, and we will retrieve only those bus schedules that actually matches the specific route that we have selected by selecting the drop down buttons here. So we have only two routes. So to make things work, for now we need to select some cities that actually matches this bus route objects. So we have only two bus route objects inside the table route, and we need to select either these two cities, from city and to city. So now inside this validate function, inside this if block, I need to make a query. I need a bus route object and I need to access this table here. I want that specific bus route that matches the city from and city to exactly. In order to do that, I'm just typing final route equals tempdb dot table route dot first where method that actually returns a bus route object, and now I have to fulfill a condition. So if this condition is returns true, then we will get a bus route object, and if this condition returns false, then this function actually shows a state error or throws an exception. To handle the exception, actually we need to wrap this code inside a try catch block. So try, then on state error catch, then we are catching the error here, and now I'm putting back this line inside the try block, and if this function successfully returns a bus route object, oh, I forgot to pass the parameters here. So this element is actually every route object from this table. So this table consists bus route object. So this element, at the first iteration, this element will be this object, and at the second iteration, that element will be this route object. So I need to specify if this element city from is equals city from, that means, or okay, from city, and also element dot city to is equals to city. Okay, let me just break down this code. And now if this function returns a valid route object, we just want to show the route name actually by calling the route name property, and the route name is simply just the combination of from city and to city. As you can see in the table route object, the route name is just combination of city from and city to with a dash. So let's run this application. Okay, one more thing before I rerun this application. If we select the wrong cities, that is not inside this, that actually doesn't match any of the bus route object here, what we'll do, then this exception, this catch block will be executed, and we want to show a message from here also that will say something like no route found. Now I'm going to press hot restart, and let's see what happens. So if I select the start destination Dhaka and end destination Bandarban, and there is no route name Dhaka Bandarban inside this route table, so definitely this first where method will return nothing except an exception. So if I press, I need to select a date also, and now if I press search, then you can see no route found. And if I select the appropriate city, then I can able to see the appropriate route object or the route name. So now it's time to go to the next page, and we will take the route object as well as the departure date string in the next page, because we will show the route name also, and the departure date will be needed in the seat plan page. So till then we need to carry that departure date with page to page. But to before we go to the next page, I want to actually rearrange my codes and apply a structural or architectural pattern to our project, because right now our project has no pattern at all. We are writing everything inside the widget classes, and these widget classes are actually the UI components. And according to design principles or design patterns, whatever you call, we should not write, or we should not create a component or a class that have multiple responsibilities. By definition, by design principle, single responsibility principle, this class should have only one responsibility. And since this class is a widget class, this class should be associated only with the UI elements, or we should write codes that are linked to the UI only. But inside this class, what we are doing, we are actually accessing the database. We are writing some business logic codes. So this code should not be inside this UI class. This should be inside some other place, some other component, maybe the data source component. So we need to provide a structure, a solid structure for our project. And for that, we need to add another library, a provider package library, which will actually provide a beautiful structure like MVC pattern structure. And the provider, we will get a provider component. We will get some other facilities to do that. We can separate the business logics from UIs to provider. And you will see that whenever when we will finish implementing the structure, our code is automatically separated by the nature of the codes. So in the next video, I will be adding the provider package, and I will be adding some new classes, and I will be creating some data source class, and I will link everything with everything. So the next lecture will be very important. Stay tuned, grab a cup of coffee and relax. See you in the next video.